Hey everybody, welcome to episode 13. Appreciate you joining in today. Hope you all had a good Easter Sunday. I'm glad, everybody was able to have the day off. Just relax, be with family, be with your kids, things like that. So I hope you all had a great Easter Sunday. I hope you all, was able to find some of those golden eggs, things like that. Maybe some of those eggs had some money in it. That's one of the things I remember when I was younger. So that's one of the cool things. When you're a kid, you find some money or you find some candy. That's one of the cool things, to go Easter egg hunting. When you're a young kid, that's just amazing. So I know you all probably have kids out there, or you don't have kids. You and your girlfriend had a little basket or something, or a little Easter egg hunt going on around the house. I know that was pretty much some fun as well. But like I always say, I hope you all had a great Easter Sunday. Appreciate everybody joining in. As always, say share, subscribe, continue to do that. Continue to show your support because I definitely appreciate it. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, I try to get to it in the next episode. I had a couple people reach out. Last episode I was talking about, Biden's package, the infrastructure package, things regarding like solar energy, clean energy, stocks like that. They just wanted me to dive a little bit more on the package. So as I was looking more deeper, into where the money was actually going and where he felt, some of the money, I believe it was like 2.2 or 2.9 trillion dollars in total, where some of that money was divided out. I was looking as far as 100 billion going towards broadband services, and that's helping fix broadband across the country. Expanding so more people have internet access. They're able to get internet in those rural areas versus right now it's not so easy to get internet. I know it's a pretty everybody's been out in the country, deep in the country where you don't have good service or you don't have internet. So that's one of the things he want to fix. Going forward, as far as having people, especially when things like Corona happen and you have to be at home for school and you need the internet for things like that for schooling, or you need the internet for work because you have to work from home. You definitely want to have a good infrastructure set up for that, just in case something like that can come around again. You want to be prepared for that. I know when this Corona first came, a lot of people didn't have internet in those rural areas, or they just didn't have access to internet to work or to get school or things like that. Where some other people were able to still go to school because you can do it through any of those internet services, video chat services that you can go and take classes, things like that. Versus people in rural areas, they're not able to do that. So that's something that he plans on fixing throughout with his package, and just thinking into that and looking deeper into it. When you want to look at stocks that's related to that, as I always do, even with clean energy, right? I like there's certain clean energy stocks that will rise if more money's poured into them. And when you have the government backing them, it's pretty much easy for them to rise and have success because they have so much money being poured into them. And that's the same thing I'm thinking about the broadband aspect of the package, like where as far as companies that could be affected or that would get some of these credits or stimulus or whatever you want to call it, through this package if it is approved. And with 100 billion, that's a lot of money, right? That can help a lot of companies, expand their services and reach customers that they weren't able to reach before without that capital. So you're looking at broadband companies. One of the main companies that I was looking at, because I'm focused on companies that service a large area, right, or that have a big name already in the industry. And one of those companies that I came across was Consolidated Communications. They're already a great company. I'm looking at it now. They've been around since 1894. This one I think is just a diamond in the rough, I would say. When I'm looking back over the past 5 years, looking back 5 years ago, they're actually down $19, right? So this stock right now is $6.66. When you look back 5 years or 6 years, even back 2016 here, it was a $28 stock. So just looking at this company and looking at the potential that it has and where it came from, right? I'm looking at this year, the 52-week low is $4 and it's at $6, right? So I'm looking at a whole, what's the lowest it's ever went. And I believe, I think that $4 range, $3 range was the lowest it's ever been. So that's one of the companies that I want to focus on, because like I said, the package is tailored towards companies like this, because they already service a large area with broadband. And when you go into detail and you look about, what they do and what areas they service, already alone, they already service California, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Minnesota, Missouri, North Dakota, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Texas, and Wisconsin. I don't have to, dive into that, say the size of those states because you all, are pretty familiar with that. But California alone, as you know, is a big state, right? And if they're one of the companies that's servicing them for their broadband services, then that's one of the companies that I would feel might get some of that money if the package is approved, right? Or just you see the stock price improving because they already service a large area. They've been around since 1894, so it's an old company, deep rooted. They're actually headquarters in Illinois, so that's something that I think is major when you're thinking of packages, right? Because when you're thinking of a U.S. package, you want to look at U.S. companies, not companies overseas. Yes, those companies are like sentiment plays. They're going to rise as, some of these companies rise, based on, the package and funding that's being sent their way. But they're not going to get as big of a push as a U.S. company. And so when I'm looking at this company, I think this is one of the, like I said, diamond in the rough type companies. The other two companies I'm going to mention, I think they're amazing companies as well, but the price on this one is so low to where it's used to be, to where it's been. I think it's easily one of those ones that I added to my list, and I wanted to dive more and more and more in. And as for me, as the weeks progress, as this package is more and more talked about, I'm going to continue to buy on the dips, just to add to my portfolio, get my size up. And then if it rises, great. I might average up some, but the more, it dips down, the more. So let's say if it dips down to $4, I'm going to start buying more and more and more for myself, because that's something that I believe this company can easily get back up to $15 to $20 with years and funding being pushed behind them if the package is approved, which for me, when I'm looking at stocks and I'm looking at outcomes, I start to, try to make a decision in my mind whether it's going to get approved or not approved. And I think this package will get approved. So I'm already making my decision based upon that. Now, if it doesn't get approved, of course, you have a backup plan for that. That's where you have some of your puts in play just in case, something does, go wrong, you can still make money on your put plays to make up for the money that you lost on some of your, some of your calls or some of your stocks that you bought outright. So yes, it's the stock ticker is CNSL. Like I said again, it's called Consolidated Communications. I think that company is great. One of the companies that I wanted, I was excited to mention about. Another company, it's a big company. A lot of you are pretty familiar with it. It's Charter Communications. Charter, Spectrum. I know, the Time Warner Cable. A lot of you all have heard of that. That's all Charter Communications. I'm pretty sure, a lot of people, down south have Charter Communications. Where I'm from, they have, Charter Communications. They have Spectrum, things like that. So that's something that, people already know about. They already have a name that, like I said before, is one of the companies that already have a name for themselves. And I think, even if they're not directly impacted, which they will be, right, they're broadband, even if they don't get funding from this package, it's a sentiment play. It's a U.S. company. It's something that I think will jump and it has a big name for itself. So that's why I look into Charter Communications and I look into, moving forward, they already have a big name. They're already, all across the country when you're looking at their services and some of the things that they're already doing business with in many different states throughout the country. I think this stock is a great ticker to go, do your research on and look into because it's amazing. I think it's going to continue to grow for myself. That's why I always start a position. Like I said in the last company, if it goes down, I'm going to continue to buy more because I believe it's going to just continue to rise. I don't see it jumping, hundreds and hundreds of dollars personally. I think the highest it's ever been is 680 and it's right now it's at 608. But I'm looking at, a holistic view, a year, 2 years from now, if this package is approved, funding is put into them. I'm looking at this company getting back to the 688 level, at least to the high to where they were before. That's, I think it's just amazing when it comes to Charter Communication, how broad they are, spread throughout the country, how big they are. A lot of people already know, like I said, Spectrum or, Time Warner Cable, the past Time Warner Cable 4. That's a lot of people. It already has a brand name for it. It's already out there. It's going to continue to stay in business because people want to continue to use it. So that's one of the companies that I look into when I'm thinking, okay, funding and long-term growth and whether the company that's going to, be here and get the funding that actually already has a name and already is big out here in the country, right? Versus making a name and starting yourself. And the final and third, I know you are pretty familiar with this company. It's AT&T. I'm looking at the price right here. It is at $30.46. Now, this company, it was more of a dividend play for me when I first found out about it. because they have great dividend packages. I think, they are one of the best. When anybody, trades based on dividend, they get into dividend type stocks, companies that pay great dividends. These are one of the companies that pay great dividends. I think, holistic view of AT&T is they're an amazing company. I know everybody knows about AT&T, whether you have a cell phone through them or you have broadband. I'm sorry about that. Broadband, I should say. You're going to know about AT&T. You're going to have some type of either, like I said, a cell phone or some type of hand, you dealt with AT&T at one point in your life. So that's just like Charter Communications, right? That company, either somebody in your life or somebody in your family has, worked with them, did business with them, had their services, had Spectrum at their home or Time Warner Cable at their home. So that's one of the companies that I want to look at because, it's long-term growth and they're going to always be around. They have that brand name already set in stone. So AT&T is one of them. AT&T is a broadband company as well. They do provide broadband services. Also, that they're big on fiber optic. They like to say that they provide fiber optic wires, which is amazing when you look at it compared to other ways to get internet. And when I look at what are the companies more likely to get funding? AT&T, is one of the companies I feel will get funding, or not even get funding, just the stock would rise based on conversations surrounding funding for broadband companies, just because AT&T has a big name, just like Charter, and I think they're going to continue to go up, up, and up. As always, I say I try to keep these videos under 10 minutes. I'm actually over 2 minutes above my time now, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. I appreciate everybody joining in. Like I said, today was amazing. Easter Sunday. I hope you all had a great Easter Sunday as well. Check out those companies. Continue to look into them, do research on them. Like I said, the first one was Consolidated Communications. Second one was Charter Communications. Third and final was AT&T. So you all go check that out. Go do your research. I feel like those companies are going to have a great year this year, especially if the package is approved. I'm looking forward to that. But as always, you have to worry about the downside. So definitely be prepared for that as well. Like I always say, thank you for joining in. I appreciate everybody for joining in. You all have a great Easter Sunday for remaining. God bless.